Welcome back to my channel. Savannah here, Wild Child Travels, and today I'm going to share with you things I like to do while traveling. I call them my 7 travel commandments. So let's get into it. Number 1, public transportation.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. This is Hounslow Central. This is a Piccadilly line service to Cockfosters.
Public transportation is great because you get to see everything from the local's perspective. You get to get around easier, not have to worry about driving on the wrong side of the road or the wrong side of the car or the rules, traffic, signs, anything. It just takes all the guesswork out of it, and you get to see more of the city because if you're riding the bus, you can just go around the streets and you can just hop on, hop off, just do whatever you want. Ride the metro, it's easier to get to the city center, back to wherever you're staying, in the hot spots or the sites in the city. Public transportation is always great, and I always take it, and I suggest that you do too. Number 2, coffee. I take coffee seriously. I need it every day. It helps me to get up and get going, and coffee is a big thing that people like to value no matter where you are. Coffee is very important, and there's always a coffee culture somewhere. When you take part of the coffee culture, I feel like you take part of the city. So that's always the number one. That's always a huge staple in my travels. I always I try to avoid the chain places, even though I do like my Starbucks. I try to go to the local coffee shops, and I try to see what they have to offer. And then you also find great things in local coffee shops, like bulletins about events and things like that. So it could always lead to something else. Number 3, sweets. Every country has their own specific sweets, and I feel like a better way of getting to know wherever you are is to take part in their sweets. It's just like coffee culture. Every country is different. So I would suggest you walk into a local bakery and talk to the people behind the counter and see what they have, because everything is going to be different. In Italy they have gelato, they have cannolis, and in France they have palmiers and macaroons, and there's just so many other things that you could be trying. Don't just stick with the same thing each and every place you go. Don't just explore the city. Don't be afraid to explore their food scene, their coffee scene, and everything else. They have so much to offer. Number 4, friends. I try to make friends wherever I go. It's always the best way to get an insider's point of view of what's going on in the city. When you make friends when you're traveling, especially if they're local, you get to know where's the best restaurants, where are the best bars, where to avoid, like the tourist traps, where to go to get best views if you want to take photos, and the easiest way of getting around. Or it's just good to talk to the locals, be friendly with them, because they have all the information and that can help you get a better enjoyment from your trip. Number 5, language.
Sappio e la roccia si spaccò in due. Mad and display carotid service.
Especially when you're in a foreign country and you don't exactly speak their language, it's always best to try. I find that when I'm in France or when I'm in Italy or Germany, if you try to speak their language, they're more nice. They're more, I want to say they're more apt to help you, to be friendlier to you, because you're not assuming that everyone speaks your language, whether it's English or Spanish or whatever. Try to speak the language of where you are, or try to get some basic terms, phrases down before you go, so you can try to at least communicate with them. And when you put forth that effort, they're more willing to be friendly to you, listen to you, help you, and give you suggestions. It's just like you're letting them know that you're not self-centered and that you're trying to make an effort to reach out to them and connect with them. That's why language is super important. So wherever I go, I try to learn something, at least a few phrases that'll help me get by and help endear me a little bit to the locals. Because when you try to put forth the effort of communicating in their language, they appreciate it so much more, and it just makes everything easier. Number 6, the local newspaper. like I was talking about going to a coffee shop from the bulletin board. When you go to a coffee shop, there's like newspapers, and maybe you get it at your hotel, or maybe you find it at the bus station or something. But newspapers, local newspapers, are great ways to find out what's going on in the city that night, that weekend, that week, that day, whatever. They have a list of events. They have a list of people coming, visiting the city, like if they're concerts or shows or comedian shows or something. Local newspapers are a wealth of knowledge. Not only that, but you can also stay up to date on international news, which I think is very important when you're traveling, because you want to know what's going on, what climate you're in, and politically or otherwise. And I think it's just very important to make sure you know what's going on around you. So it's like a two-part thing, to stay educated and you get to find out what's going on in the city that you're visiting. So make sure you always check out the local newspapers or magazines or whatever they have. Number 7. This one is my favorite. Well, they're all my favorite. I like to do them all. Number 7. Get away from the touristy spots. Just get away from them. Just go off. Just get on a bus and just get off on the bus somewhere where you think it looks exciting and just go. You don't always have to see the sights. You don't have to spend your whole days at the site. If you do go see them, you don't have to spend your whole day there. Just go, get away from the crowds, get away from the sites, and get away from the people like trying to sell you things. Just get away from the crowd. Just go somewhere that is local. Like go into a neighborhood area. Just go, explore, and who knows, it could just turn out to be the best thing ever. I'm pretty sure it will. It usually does. So I would suggest you go out there and just walk into a neighborhood and see what they have and see what's going on. I like to get the local perspective wherever I go. Like, yeah, I'll go see some touristy sites. I'll have a day saved for that, but then I'll have another day saved for just exploring. Just go somewhere different, and who knows, it might be the best thing ever. So these are my 7 travel commitments, and I hope that they will help you enjoy your next trip a little bit more. If you have any of your own things that you do on your trips each and every time, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear them, and don't forget to subscribe. I'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing this time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.